Hello everyone, ARG back here today for some more baseball. And tomorrow, unless something weird happens, it should be hockey. So that's what's going on in ARG land right now as far as video games go. So we did pretty good against the Cards overall, I think. Especially if we compare to what we did against the Cards last year, so that's pretty good. Today we have a short two-game series against the Colorado Rockies. Looks like the Rockies managed to win a game against another team than us because they are now 2-9. Excuse me. Oh wow, and even being 2-9, they're not even last in their division. The Houston Astros are having a terrible start to the season, and they should have some pretty good players. So not sure what's going on in Houston. I guess we're gonna figure it out when we play them. But today we're gonna focus on the Rockies. So like I said, they are 2-9. We are now 7-5 thanks to our pretty good 4-game series against the Cards. 2 games above 500, but we're still 4th in the East. We are in a strong division, at least for now here. At the start of the season, we have no injuries. We are healthy. I like to see that. I like to have all of my best players available to me. So we're going to take a look at the Rockies, see how they are doing. So Todd Zeal's still out. We talked about that, right? He signed with the Rockies, joined training camp, and got hurt that same day, and he's out for like 3 to 4 months or something. So other than that, they are pretty healthy. So we are going to get things going. So it is going to be just those 2 games. I need to get dinner ready. The Sens are playing today. They are playing in Boston. It's gonna be a tough game for the Sens today. They are stricken with the COVID bat, so a lot of players are in the COVID protocol and are not gonna be available for the game for the Sens tonight. Let's get going. We're going to be facing Will Kanani. He did okay in his first start, although he did have 5 walks. I think it was against us, too. I think he's the one who beat us. Then we're going to be going with Miguel Batista for that one. Alright, let's get things going here today. The game is at home. We're going to be playing against... we're going to be playing in front of our fans. That's our second series at home after that 4-game series against the Cards. So this lineup has been doing pretty good, so I'm going to hold on to it for the first game. If we'll see what happens after that, and we'll see what we want to do for game number 2. Rockies are going to go with former Montreal Expo Marquise Grissom. I was really sad to see him go. I was always a big fan of Grissom, both in my universe and in real life. Eric Davis is going to bat second. Scott Meadows, Scott Brosius, Gary Taylor, Terry Jorgensen, Greg Colburn, who was an Expo for a short while in real life, and then David Rona that we looked at already. Never made the majors, but he did in my universe here. Let's get this thing started. Alright, so Grissom leads off the first for the Rockies. He's facing Miguel Batista. Go Expos, go. I almost said go Sens go. I'm sure I did at one point. Go Expos go and play ball. And sorry, my throat is kind of bothering me right now a little. 0-2 to Grissom. And that falls right in front of Rivera for a base hit, so Rockies are 1 up and 1 on base. Alright, so runner on first, and he, as we know, he has wheels, right? Grissom is really fast. Eric Davis is going to be the next batter. 2-2 to him. Oh, he struck out swinging. And on the play, Grissom went, and that's a stolen base. That's 6 for him this season. So now the Rockies have a runner in scoring position. And there's one out. No count to him. And that's going to be extra bases, and right, that should score a run. Alright, so Meadows with the RBI double. The Rockies are up 1-0 already. Runner in scoring position, so one out. Scott Brosius is next. 1-2 to him. Struck out swinging. There you go. Alright, so with 2 outs now, Gary Taylor comes to bat. Full count to him, and he struck out swinging, so despite all of that, Miguel Batista manages to strike out the side. But the Rockies take the lead. It is a 1-0 Colorado lead here at Olympic Stadium. Delino the Shields is going to be leading off the first for us, facing Will Konani, who beat us earlier this season. That was the Rockies' first win, too. No count to the Shields. That's popped, and that should be cut by Bro. No, it fell right in front of Brosius. Nobody called for the ball, and it falls in. That counts for an infield single, I would believe. Yeah, they all look the same on the scoreboard anyway, so that's a base hit. Kirby Puckett is next. Runner on first, nobody out. 1-2. And that's it to left. Taylor is there, catches it for out number 1. The Shields has to retreat back to first base. So runner on first, 1 out. John Kruk is next, no count to him. Oh, that's a bad pitch. That's a wild pitch, so on the plate, the Shields makes it to second base. Alright, so we have a runner in scoring position now. That's our turn. 1-2 to John Kruk. Struck out looking, I hate that. Alright, 2 outs now. Kent Terbek is next. No count to him. Oh, that's it really beautifully. All the way to the fence and center right. That should score a run. That's going to be extra bases. A double for Kent Terbek. So it is a tied game. It is 1-1 here. In the bottom of inning number 1. 2 outs still. Runner in scoring position for Ruben Rivera. 3-1. Oh, and he walks. Rivera has walked quite a bit so far. I like to see that. Right, 2 runners on, 2 outs. Charles Johnson is the batter. 1-2. Grounds it to third. And he's thrown out at first for out number 3. The Expos tie the game. Thanks to a double by Kent Terbek. It is now tied at 1 going into the top of the second. With Terry Jorgensen leading it off for the Rockies. 1-2 to him. And that's it to right, falls right in front of John Kruk for a base hit. So that's how the Rockies started inning number 1 with a base hit. Alright, Greg Colburn is next. No count to him. And that's it to left, falls in front of Rivera for a base hit as well. Well, there's 2 on, nobody out now for David Rona. No count to him. That's it to center. Kirby Puckett after it, he catches it for out number 1. And now we are a double play away from getting out of this inning. And the pitcher is there, so he's gonna be bunting more than likely. 0-1, and he bunts down the third baseline. He's thrown out at first for out number 2. Both runners advance. So now there's 2 runners in scoring position with 2 outs. And the lineup flips over for Marquise Grissom. No count. Grounds it to short. And we're just going to eat it and let the runner score. Alright, so it is 2-1 for the Rockies now. And now runners on the extremities with 2 outs. Eric Davis is the batter. 0-2. Struck out. Alright, we'll take it, of course. Bottom of the second, we're down 1 yet again. So Jeff King is gonna start. He's gonna try to get on base here. 2-1 to him. That's it. Weakly to right. Grissom after it catches it for out number 1. Walt Weiss is next. 1-2. That's popped. Jorgensen catches it for out number 2. Now Miguel Batista is next, no count to him. Grounds it to first, and he's out. It is still a 1-run game for the Rockies going into the top of the 3rd, with Scott Meadows leading up for them, no count. Grounds it to first, Terbek goes to the base, and that's out number 1. Scott Brosius is next, 2-2. Oh, that's a base hit to center. It's gonna fall in front of Kirby Puckett. Alright, so runner on first, 1 out. Gary Taylor is the batter, 2-0. Oh, that's popped. The Shields is under it, catches it for out number 2. And now Jorgensen is the batter with 2 outs, 2-1. That's another base hit to center. Wow, Batista's allowing a lot of hits here. That's already 7 hits and not even a full 3 innings. Right, 2 on, 2 outs. Greg Colburn is the next batter. Full count. Grounds it to third, and he's safe. That's an infield single. That loads up the bases. So now we have 2 outs, bases juice, based, blah. The bases are juiced, yes, okay, I said it right the first time. David Rona the batter, 1-2. Struck out swinging. Whew, we got out of that jam here. It could have been pretty disastrous. So Batista looking shaky, but in the grand scheme of things, we're still only down 1. And now we are going back with the top of the lineup. Delino the Shields is first. Full count to him. And he walks. Alright, Kirby Puckett is next. 0-2. Struck out swinging. Oh, he doesn't strike out very often. That's not good. Alright, John Kruk, 2-1. Grounds it to second. They get the Shields out at second base. That's a fielder's choice. They did not get John Kruk out at first. The Shields hurt his right knee a little bit on the play, but he gets to stay in the game, thankfully. Alright, 2 outs. Runner on first, Ken Terbek, who produced our first run, 1-2. And now that's a pop-up. Rona under it, catches it for out number 3. So yet again, we don't do much. It is still a 2-1 affair here, going into the top of the 4th with Will Kanani leading off the inning for the Rockies. No count to him. Grounds it to short. Good throw by Wall twice, and that's out number 1. Grissom is next. No count. And that's going to be extra bases. That's it in the corner and right. Looks like a double. Yep. Double for Grissom. So Grissom is 3 for 3 against his former team right now. I could live without that. Eric Davis is next. Runner in scoring position, 1 out. No count. That's it to right. John Kruk after it. And he dropped it. Alright, so error in right for John Kruk. Runners on first and third. 1 out for Scott Meadows. The only good news is that the double plays in order here. That would be nice. 1-1. Oh, not anymore. Stolen base. So now there's 2 runners in scoring position with 1 out. 2-2. Oh, Meadows struck out. That's a huge strikeout here. Now they absolutely need a base hit from Scott Brosius. 1-2. Struck out swinging. Wow. So Batista gets into trouble every single inning, but he manages to get out of it. In some cases, I guess we can say. Alright, Ruben Rivera leading off the 4th for us. We're still down only 1. Full count. Struck out swinging. Oh, that looked like ball 4 to me. Charles Johnson is next. No count. That's it to left. Taylor is there. Catches it for out number 2. Yeah, we just can't get anything going offensively. Jeff King is next with 2 outs. No count to him. That's it to center. Eric Davis is there. That's out number 3. We go down in order in inning number 4, going to the top of the 5th. Still a 1-run game. All right, Gary Taylor is gonna be leading off the 5th. 1 and 2. Struck out swinging. Terry Jorgensen is there. Wow, that's 8 strikeout from Miguel Batista. He has also allowed 9 hits. That's crazy. All right, Jorgensen, full count. Grounds it too short, and that's going to be an infield single. That's the 10th hit allowed by Miguel Batista. At this rate, I think I might pull him after this inning. Greg Colburn is now the batter with runner on first, 1 out, 1 and 1. That's it to left. Rivera is there, and I believe he caught it. Yeah, he did. Out number 2. David Rona is next, no count. Grounds it to second, and he's thrown out at first for out number 3. Alright, so what do I want to do here? Because Batista's turn is coming. 10 hits and 5 innings, it is, that's a lot. I don't know how you guys do math, but where I'm from, that's 2 hits per inning. Alright, so Walt Wise leads off the 5th for us, 1 and 0. That's going to be a base hit to center, and I think I'm going to keep Batista in so he can bunt. There you go. Alright, so sacrifice it for Batista. Walt Wise manages to get to second base, so we have a runner in scoring position with 1 out. Delino De Shields leads, not leads, but is now the batter, 1 and 0 to him. And that's it, weakly to center. That's caught by Eric Davis. Walt Wise is not going, so there's 2 outs now. For Kirby Puckett, no count. It's it to center, should be cut by Eric Davis. It is. That's the end of the inning. We did not score, so my strategy failed. That's the first time that has happened. Alright. Let's see here. Well, we're going to pitch to the pitcher for sure. Alright, 0-1 to Kanani. Grounds it to the pitcher, and he's thrown out for out number 1. Now, Grissom torched Batista so far, 1 and 2. Grounds it to second, and he's thrown out for out number 2. Alright, we might be able to get out of this inning here. Maybe. Eric Davis is next, 2 outs, 1 and 0. And that's going to be a base hit to left. I think I've seen enough now. Trying to act a little bit like a 90s manager would, where they would keep pitchers in games a lot longer than they do nowadays, but 11 hits is that's a little much. Alright, I think I'm gonna bring Ota and try to have him pitch 2 innings. Alright, Katsumasa Ota is now our reliever. Scott Meadows is the batter, runner on first, 2 outs, no count. Oh, the runner goes, and he's safe. That's 3 stolen bases for Eric Davis this season. 1 and 2. Runner in scoring position, struck out. There you go. Still down only 1. We might have a shot at coming back here. So Kanani's been pitching pretty well for the Rockies. John Kruk here, I'm hoping can get on base. 2 and 2. That's a base hit to left. So opposite field, a single for John Kruk. And now Kent Terbek comes to bat with a runner on first. Nobody out. Full count. Oh, that's it to right. I don't think it's going to fall. It doesn't. That's out number 1. Ruben Rivera is next. Full count. That's it to right, but pretty much right at Marquise Grissom. That's out number 2. Charles Johnson now. Wow, that was the heart of my lineup and just couldn't get it done. Oh, runner goes. Oh dear God, that was not pretty. I think we just saw John Kruk trying to trying to steal a base. It might have been a hit and run. And the pitch was crap, so yeah. Alright, Scott Brosius leading off the 7th. We're still down 2-1. No count. Come on, man. Alright, grounder to second, and he's out. Gary Taylor is next. 2-2. Struck out swinging. Terry Jorgensen now with 2 outs, 2-0. Grounds it to third. Hey, Joe Nullet, it's been a second since I've seen you. Alright, going into the bottom of the 7th, still down 1. And now Charles Johnson gets his second shot here, 0-1. That's a base hit to center, that's good. Alright, so runner on first, nobody out. Jeff King is not a batter. Oh, alright. Is that something that you usually do at this time of the year, or is it just circumstances that make it that you're in your RV right now? Alright, Jeff King, runner on first, nobody out. King bunts. Alright, that's a sacrifice hit here. So now we have a runner in scoring position. I'm going to bring a better bat than Walt Weiss. Alright, so we have a runner in scoring position with 1 out. I'm bringing in Luis Polonia to bat, 1-2. That's a base hit to left, and that's going to be extra bases. And that should tie the game. Alright, it's a 2-2 game. Ah, got it. Alright, so you're done with the apartment then. And now I'm going to bring in Brett Barbary to it for Katsumasa Ota. Alright, so that was a double for Polonia. We have a tied game. Brett Barbary comes to bat. 1 out, runner in scoring position, 1-2. Struck out swinging on a terrible, terrible pitch. 2 outs now. Delino De Shields the batter. 1-0. That's it to left. And that's cut by Taylor for out number 3. We managed to tie the game. It is now 2-2 going into the top of the 8th. Now I have to fix my lineup though. Alright, I need somebody to play shortstop. That's going to be Brett Barbary, of course. And now we are going to bring a pitcher. Think we're gonna see some John Doris action. Hopefully he can not suck this one time. Oh yeah, I agree. I'm still kind of fuzzy on my relievers. I think my relief pitching is still not great, but I like my starters better, and I think that my starting lineup looks a lot more stable. Alright, so John Doris facing Greg Colburn in the top of the 8th. We have a tied game, 1-0. Oh boy. Alright, so he hit the first batter that he faces. John Doris does. Alright, David Rona is next. Runner on first, nobody out. Full count, and he walks. Ugh. At this rate, I'm gonna have John Doris pitch 100 pitches until he gets a torn rotator cuff or something. Alright, 2 runners on, nobody out. They are keeping Will Kanani in the game. And he's bunting. Alright, so that advances both runners. That's a sacrifice hit, but now there's 2 runners in scoring position with only 1 out, and Marquise Grissom, who's 3 for 4 in this game, comes to bat. 2-2. Oh, struck out swinging. Alright, 2 outs. The runners have not moved. Do you need a base hit from Eric Davis? 1-2. Grounds it to third. And he's out. John Doris didn't look like he was going to, but he got it done. Going into the bottom of the 8th. It's still 2-2 with Will Konani still on the mound for the Rockies. Kirby Puckett is going to lead off the 8th for us. 0-1. Grounds it to short, and he's thrown out for out number 1. John Kruk is next. 1-1. That's it. It had a little bit of carry, but Grissom barely had to move for that one, so that's out number 2. And now Ken Terbek is next. 2-2. Oh, I think it's out of here. And it is Ken Terbek with the solo blast that gives us a 3-2 lead here in the bottom of the 8th. Some dramatic effects there. Gotta love it. I definitely prefer that kind of dramatic effect over what happened last time I came live, where I was up 5 against the Cards in the 9th and they tied it up. I agree. And then Rivera, yeah, and what sucks is that I lost Calderon for absolutely nothing too. I didn't get anything out of him, but player option, what can you do? He didn't want to sign, so he's gone. Sorry, I'm opening up a tiny candy bar. It looks like I'm not paying attention, but Halloween was not too long ago, and we got some leftover candies. Yeah, and Polonia has speed as well, and he's good defensively. He just doesn't have any kind of power whatsoever, but that's okay. All right, Rivera with two outs now, 3-1 to him. That's it to right. Should be cut by Grissom. Yeah, Marquise Grissom plays for the Rockies now, so I love Grissom. I like Grissom, but that's okay. All right, so I think I'm gonna bring in my closer, even though he's just a little tired. He can do it. Tom Gordon is gonna come to try to close this up. Oh, they're bringing in Harold Baines as a pinch hitter. All right. Top of the 9th, we're up 1. 0-2 to Baines. I did lose Ruskin in a trade, though, so at least I got something out of it. Baines flies out to center. That's out number 1. I got a 3-star potential starting pitcher, and I think 2 other guys in the trade for Ruskin. All right, Scott Brosius now with 1 out, 1-2. Grounds it to short. He's thrown out for out number 2, so we're 1 out away from a win against the Rockies. Gary Taylor is the batter now, 3-1, and he walks. Terry Jorgensen is next. No count to him. Grounds it to short. The throw to second base, and we won this game 3-2 after losing 2-1 most of the game. So pretty good rally here to win it 3-2. Alright, so Duras gets the W. Tom Gordon gets his 5th save of the game, and with that win, we move to 8-5 on this season, so not too shabby. Sadly, even at 8-5, we're still 4th in the East. Everybody's good. Timothy Smith threw a complete game shutout against the Kansas City Royals. Alright, we're gonna advance. Nothing going on here, that's good. Sometimes, yep, we're still fourth here, but yeah, we're doing. Look at that! Look at that wild card situation here. The top 3 teams are all in our division. Of course, the season is really young, so. Oh, Eric Alexander here is the main piece that I got in the Scott Ruskin trade. So we'll see what happens with that. Alright, so we're getting ready to play game number 2 against the Rockies. Obviously, it's going to be another southpaw duel. We've been having those quite a bit so far this season. The Rockies are going to send Todd Duma on the mound. We're going to go with Carlos Perez. Yeah, we'll just see if he fully develops or not, because he has a lot of interesting attributes. Like if he can develop that control here, that's going to be pretty good. So we'll see. He's just not quite there yet. Alright, so yeah, let's go ahead and play game number 2. Todd Doom on the mound. We have Carlos Perez. Carlos pitched pretty well so far. I don't think I want to mess up with my lineup. I just rallied and won. I think I want to keep it that way. Unless there's somebody you absolutely want to see me put into the lineup. The Rockies are going to go with Grissom leading off again. Eric Davis, Scott Meadows, Scott Brosius, Gary Taylor, Terry Jorgensen, Greg Myers, and David Rona. So the exact same lineup, except that Greg Myers is going to be the catcher instead of Greg Colburn. All right. Well, let's get this thing going. Play ball. Go Expos. Yay. All right, so Perez on the mound for us. Marquise Grissom is going to lead the game, the inning. In the top of the first, no count to him. That's it too short, and Grissom is thrown out at first for out number 1. Eric Davis is next, 2-2. Struck out swinging, Carlos Perez here with 2 quick outs. That's usually when he starts to derail a little bit. Scott Meadows is next, 1-0. That's going to be a base hit to right. I just called this, literally, almost. Right, so base hit for the Rockies after 2 outs. Scott Brosius is next, 1-2. Struck out swinging, there you go. Alright, sorry. The Shields leading off the first for us. Todd Doom on the mound. Oh, he's had some control problems to start this season, so hopefully we can take advantage of that. 1-0. Oh, the Shields tried to bunt himself on, but he missed. So full count now. That's going to be a base hit to left. Falls right in front of Taylor for a base runner for us. Bottom of the first still. Now John Kruk comes to bat with nobody out. No count. That's a base hit to center. Alright. And on the play, the Shields gets to third base. So we now have runners on first and third. Nobody out, and Kirby Puckett is now the batter. 1 and 2. That's it to right, and it falls right in front of Marquis Grissom. That scores a run, and it is 1-0 for the Expos. Charles Johnson is next. Still nobody out. Sorry, 2 on, 2 and 2. Oh, that's grounded too short. That's gonna be a double play. Oh, Charles Johnson, usually a decent bat, just hitting a double play. We have a runner on third, but there's 2 outs now for Ruben Rivera. 0 and 2. Grounds it too short, and he's thrown out for out number 3. So that inning had the potential to be a big one, but we end up with only 1 run. So it is 1-0 for the Expos going into the top of the second with Gary Taylor leading off for the Rockies. Full count to him. That's popped. Charles Johnson after Ken Terbek after it. In foul territory, that's out number 1. Hey, Walker Steele, welcome aboard. I missed it. I have the terrible tendency to miss my cue whenever somebody follows, but thank you for joining. You're welcome aboard. You're welcome anytime, even though I'm apparently 5 minutes late. Alright, Jorgensen is next. No runners on, 1 out, 1 and 2. Grounds it to short. Oh, that's going to be an error. Alright, so Walt Weiss with an error. Alright, so Jorgensen is safe at first. There's 1 out, and now Greg Myers is the batter. 2 and 1 to him. Popped. That's cut by Weiss. That's the second out of the inning. That brings up David Rona. Full count. And he walks. Alright, so 2 runners on, 2 outs now for the pitcher Todd Duma. 2 and 2. And he strikes out swinging. And that's perfectly fine like that. Alright, bottom of the second, Ken Terbek is going to lead it off for us. 1 and 0. That's it to center. And that's cut by Eric Davis. Ken Terbek, the hero of the previous game, with his solo blast in the 8th that made us win by a run. Jeff King is next. No count. That's it to center. Eric Davis after it. So but that's above his head. Alright, so that's going to be a double for Jeff King. And we have a runner in scoring position with 1 out. Walt Weiss follows here, 0 and 1. That's a base hit to right. Wow, Walt Weiss with a rare base hit. He even has a home run for me this season. Alright, and it scores a run. It is now 2-0 for the Expos. Awesome. So runner on first, 1 out for Carlos Perez, who's a capable hitter. But he bunts. Sacrifice it. Weiss is now on second base with 2 outs. Delino De Shields is next, 1 and 1. That's a base hit to right. Alright. Oh, they nailed Walt Weiss at home, and that's the end of the inning. Alright. So the Expos add to their lead thanks to Walt Weiss. It is now 2-0 for the Expos, top of the third here at Olympic Stadium. Marquis Grissom is going to get settled here to bat against his former team. 0 and 1. Oh, that's a base hit down the line in left. That's going to be probably a double with Grissom's speed. And it is. So 2 base hit for Grissom to lead off the third. So the Rockies have a runner in scoring position with nobody out. Eric Davis is the batter. 3 and 0 to him. And he walks on 4 pitches. 2 on, nobody out. Scott Meadows is the batter. Full count. That's a base hit to left. That should score a run. And it does. It is now 2-1 for the Expos. And there's still 2 runners on with nobody out for the Rockies. So we need we need something I've never seen in playing this game for over 10 years. playing out every single game. We need a triple play. I have never seen that. Alright, Scott Brosius now with 2 runners on, nobody out. No count. Grounds it to second. That's a double play. I'll take it. So 2 outs now, runner on third. They need a base hit from Gary Taylor, 2-2. Grounds it to the pitcher, and he's thrown out at first. So we limit the damage to 1 run, and it is a 2-1 game for the Expos. John Kruk leads off the third for us. No count. That's it to center, and that's going to be extra bases all the way to the fence. John Kruk stops at second base with a double, so it's our turn to get a leadoff double. And now we have Kirby Puckett following with his really sexy 84 contact against lefties. 0-1. Grounds it to second. He's thrown out at first for out number 1. The runner makes it to third on the play. So a deep fly ball somewhere should score a run. With Charles Johnson, the batter now, 0-1. And that's it to left, but not very deep. And we're not going on the play. So there's 2 outs now. That was a waste of an out. Ruben Rivera, 2 outs. Runner on third. We need a base hit. 1-1. That's it to center, but that's cut by Eric Davis, so no run for us in that inning, despite leading off the inning with a double. We are still up 1, however, going into the top of the 4th, where we're going to be facing Terry Jorgensen first. 0-2. That's it to third. Jeff King with the throw, and that's a good one. That's out number 1. Greg Myers is next. 2-0. And that's going to fall in front of Rivera for a base hit. So opposite field base hit for Greg Myers. Runner on first, 1 out for David Rona. No count. Grounds it to short. Alright, we only get the runner out at first. Myers is safe at second on the play, so there's a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. The pitcher comes to bat, Todd Duma. 2-2. Struck out swinging. Perfect. Right, bottom of the 4th. Ken Terbek leads it up for us. 3-1. And he walks. Alright. Jeff King is next. 0-1. And he bunts. And that's a sacrifice hit by Jeff King. So now we have a runner in scoring position with 1 out. Walt Weiss is the batter. 1-0. Grounds it to second. And he's thrown out at first for out number 2 on the play. Terbek makes it to third base. We need a base hit from Carlos Perez. He's more than capable. 1-2. Just not this time. That's a strikeout. Alright, so we had a runner make it all the way to third base, but we strand him there. Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite us. We are still up 1 going into the top of the 5th. Where are we in terms of pitches? Okay. That's quite a bit of pitches in 4 innings. Alright, so Grissom leads off the 5th for the Rockies, 1-2. Grounds it to short. And he's thrown out for out number 1. Eric Davis is next, 2-2. Struck out swinging. That's the second out. Scott Meadows is next. 3-0. And he walks on 4 pitches. And right there, that's why Carlos Perez has so many pitches and only 4 and some change innings. That's because he's incapable of having a 1-2-3 inning. It's been a problem since he entered the league. Overall, he does okay, but he has problems getting out of innings clean. Right, runner on first, 2 outs for Scott Brosius. Full count to him. And he walks. Alright, back-to-back walks after 2 outs. That's gonna kill us. Gary Taylor is next. 1 and 2. Struck out swinging. I think that's his third strikeout of the game, if I am not mistaken. I could be. Alright, Delano the Shields leading off inning number 5 for us. Full count. Grounds it to first. And Meadows takes it himself to first, and that's out number 1. John Kruk. 2 for 2 for Kruk in this game. No count. Grounds it to short, and he's thrown out at first for out number 2. Kirby Puckett is next, 0-1. And that's fly to center. Eric Davis is there, and we are down in order in this inning. Top of the 6th now. Terry Jorgensen leads off for the Rockies, full count. Grounds it to second, it's going to be a base hit. Alright, so infield base hit for the Rockies. Greg Myers comes to bat, 2 and 2. Grounds it to second, and that's a double play. Alright, that's good. Alright, 2 outs for David Rona, 1 and 2. Struck out swinging. Alright. Alright, Charles Johnson is now the batter for us, bottom of the 6th. We're still clinging to that 1-run lead. Now, we saw in the previous game what that can do. We were losing 2-1 most of the game, and then we ran out with it at the end. So hopefully that doesn't happen to us. Full count swing by Charles Johnson. That's a grounder to shortstop. 1 out for the Expos. Ruben Rivera. Full count. And he walks. Right, Ken Terbek now. 3-1. Rounds it to short, and that's a double play. Alright, the 6th is over for the Expos. We are going into the top of the 7th. Still up 2-1. Alright, we're gonna monitor Carlos Perez here. I was gonna maybe pull him, but they are bringing in a lefty to bat against him. Dave Anson is coming in as a pinch hitter. 2-0. Grounds it to third. And he's thrown out for out number 1. Right, usually that's the part where I say, hey, you know what, I'm gonna continue to go with my starter, but I think I'm gonna pull him. I have a tendency to keep my starters in too long, so I'm pulling Carlos Perez now. And I kind of want to go with John Doris again, and I actually might. I'm bringing him in to finish inning number 7. Facing Marquise Grissom. 1 out, nobody on. 3-1. And he walks. Oh, that's not the... Definitely not the player you want to walk here when you're only up by 1. Alright, Eric Davis is now the batter, runner on first. 1 out, 2-0. That's it to center. Kirby Puckett above his head. Oh, that's a tight game. Alright, so that's a double that scores the tying run. So now we have a 2-2 game with a runner in scoring position and only 1 out. Scott Meadows is now the batter, 2-2. And he struck out looking. Right, Harold Baines is now... Full count to Harold Baines, and he walks. Alright. Gary Taylor is the next batter. 0-2, 2 runners on, 2 outs. Struck out swinging. Oh my god. I think that's his 4th strikeout of the game. All right, the Rockies are bringing in Jeff Davis as a reliever. We have a tight game going into the bottom of the seventh. Jeff King is the batter. I'm keeping him in. He's batting over 400, so he deserves a swing. 3-1. Grounds it to third, and he's thrown out for out number 1. Walt Weiss is next. Full count. Grounds it to the pitcher. He's thrown out for out number 2. Yikes. Alright, we're going to bring in a pinch hitter. It's almost always Luis Polonia when I bring in a pinch hitter. He's doing alright. Alright, come on. Get me a nice base hit here. 2-0 to Polonia. That's it to right. Grissom after it. And he catches it for out number 3. Alright. Still tied at 2. Going into the top of the 8th. Let's see what the... I think I might go with Cerruti. Or Scott Bales. I'll go with Cerruti. Cerruti comes into pitch against Terry Jorgensen. 2-2. Struck out looking like that. Right, Greg Myers is next. 0-1, 1 out. That's it weakly to center. Kirby Puckett is there and he catches it for out number 2. David Rona is next. Full count to him. 2 outs. That's it weakly. And Walt Weiss is there. Catches it for out number 3. Are we going to run away with the game again in the bottom of the 8th? I do not despise the Blue Jays. I am okay with the Blue Jays. I was pretty happy when they won the World Series at the start of the 90s. Delino the Shields. I think that the fact that we wouldn't play against Toronto back in the day because there were no interleague at the start of the 90s, I think that like there wasn't really a rivalry. So I think that I was fine with it. Right, no count to the Shields. Grounds it to short. And he's thrown out at first for out number 1. That brings up John Kruk. 3-1. And he walks. Kirby Puckett is next. Runner on first, 1 out. 2-2. And that's a base hit to down the line in right for Kirby Puckett. And alright, so that scores a run too. John Kruk scored. Oh my god, we might be doing it again. Alright, so so here's the weird thing, okay? I would say that probably in those years, the biggest rivals to the Expos was probably the Braves. Thing is that when I was playing in the little leagues, I was a pitcher, and the Braves had so many great pitchers, I just couldn't hate them. I loved to watch them pitch. So that was kind of weird where, I was supposed to kind of hate the Braves because they were, so good during the 90s and everything, but I just couldn't because one of their biggest strengths was those starting pitchers, and it was just awesome to watch them pitch. It looks like I made somebody happy there. Are you a Braves fan? Is that what's going on? All right. So runner in scoring position, 1 out. Well, that's good. 0-1 to Charles Johnson. Oh, that's it all the way to the fence and right. That's gonna score another run here. That's a double for Johnson, and it is now 4-2 for the Expos. The Mets weren't all that great during the that stretch. It feels to me they should have been better. I don't know. They just weren't all that great. Like in the start of the 90s and the mid 90s, they just weren't all that great. Right, Ruben Rivera is now the batter, runner in scoring position, 1 out, full count. And he struck out. Right, Ken Terbek with 2 outs, runner in scoring position, 2-0. And he's thrown out at first for out number 3. The Expos do get 2 runs on the board. They are now up 4-2. So I'm thinking that I might be giving Tom Gordon a day off. I might just keep going with Cerruti, see if he can just finish the game, because Tom Gordon is in the red. I don't want to injure him. And if Cerruti can pitch, I don't have to have a save every single time, so I think I'm just going to stick to him for now. Davy Cruz comes in as a pinch hitter for the Rockies in the top of the 9th. And that's a base hit to right. So maybe Cerruti is not going to be able to get it done after all. Alright, Marquise Grissom is next. Runner on first, nobody out. No count. That's it to second. And that's a double play. There you go. Eric Davis is next. 2 outs, 1-1. That's it to the pitcher. That's an infield single. So with 2 outs, I think I'm chickening out of that situation. I'm gonna try to bring in a righty. So we're gonna go with Michael McLean facing Scott Meadows. Runner on first, 2 outs, no count. That's it to center, and that's cut by Kirby Puckett for out number 3. The Expos sweep that short 2-game series against the Rockies. We have a 4-2 victory here. Oh, Cerruti got the win. That's good. All right. So let's see if stuff happens here. We have a day off here tomorrow. Alright, nothing going on here. Oh, we are now above the Mets. That is crazy. The Mets have been so good in my universe, and we are now above them. Oh, they do have quite a few injuries. That could explain why. Oh. Alright, let's take a look at that here. So California, okay. Oh, Jim Abbott pitched a 2-0 shutout against the Tigers. Oh, I can. I've explained it a few times. I don't mind repeating myself. Actually, I probably do quite a lot because of stuff. But so I've been playing out of the park baseball since version 9, right? And over the years, I don't know how long you've been playing the game, if you have at all, but you know, over the years you kind of figure out ways to kind of game the game so that you have certain advantages and everything. And so I started to have house rules where I would limit, like, for example, the number of trades I could make in a season, and then I couldn't sign more than X number of free agents of a certain caliber and everything to try to prevent myself from building powerhouses too much. So about in version 17 or 18, I was like, well, you know what, it's not so fun anymore because I have so many house rules and everything. I feel like I have to like handcuff myself so much. So I decided to give manager only a shot, and let me tell you, when you don't have control over like your roster demotion, like your call ups and the trades and everything, that brings a whole new level of challenge to the game. And as it turns out, I fell in love with with that mode literally. So that's what happened. It wasn't a decision that I made so that I would be like the only one doing it on stream or whatever. It's just the way I've been playing for years. So yeah, it's a very uncommon choice, and it can be very frustrating. The first year I played, I wasn't streaming. My GM traded Larry Walker to the Cubs for peanuts, and I still resent that several years later. So, but anyway, so yeah, that's the story behind why I play as manager only. All right. So Kevin Apier also pitched a complete game shutout against the Orioles. And speaking of not having control over my lineup, well, lineup I do, but over roster movements and everything. Well, sometimes you. So this is my third GM that I've had. So I started offline in 1991. I play every single game. It takes forever. That's the second year that I'm doing on stream. I did the 1994 season in its entirety on stream, and this is my third GM. The first two were really bad. This one is actually not too bad. So it really brings a different layer. I would say give it a shot. If you don't like it, you don't have to stick with it, but it's definitely something different. Alright, so they decided to send down Michael McLean, who was doing okay, but they decided to send him down, and we're gonna be getting Steve Allen instead. Oh, well, he's a 2.5 star. Okay. Oh, looks like he was acting as the closer for the Indians in the previous couple seasons. Okay, bring him on, bring him on. Is that just a signing we just did? Is that what's going on? Aha, yes it is. Alright, so... Alright, so my GM signed Steve Olin. Looks like an upgrade to me, so I'm fine with that, of course. Alright, so I have a better reliever now. Alright. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and save this. Now, I hate to do that because there's a few people watching, but I'm gonna have to stop. I have to go and make dinner soon. So, gotta get ready for the hockey game tonight. Now, if you're only a fan of baseball, I do this somewhat regularly. If you're a fan of sports simulation, I should be back tomorrow. I'm gonna be doing Franchise Hockey Manager 8, so if you like to join then, you're more than welcome. It's gonna be around at the same time, ish, so You're all more than welcome to join. If not, no hard feelings. But I have to stop. I have to go and get ready to watch my Sens probably get slaughtered in Boston tonight. We have quite a few players out on COVID protocols, so that's not gonna be all too great, I don't think. But anyway, so Walker Steele, welcome aboard. You're always welcome to stop by. Everybody else as well. And I'm stopping, so thank you for tuning in. And until I roll this game again, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.